I'm Paul DeMain for IndianCountryTV.com, and we're standing in the Le Coudray Casino Lodge and Hotel lobby today. We're here with the chairman of the National Indian Gaming Commission, Ernie Stevens Jr. from Oneida, Wisconsin. We want to talk to him a little bit about some of the things that are going on around Indian country, and in particular with gaming. You've been around. Tell us a little bit about, you just came out of Arizona where you re-won re-election for another term. Tell me a little bit about what's involved in representing NIGA and where you go from here.
Well, it's a great opportunity representing the National Indian Gaming Association. We represent all the gaming tribes for the most part. We're a member-driven association, so we have 184 current tribes, but we really work in Washington, D.C. on behalf of all gaming tribes. And what we're really doing is trying to educate Congress about what's happening in Indian country, our right to game as sovereign governments, and a lot of great things that we're doing in our industry. We spent a lot of time trying to do that, and we have a new Congress in Washington, D.C., so our industry is always moving, always evolving, so we're always prepared for the highs and lows, and I think that because of what Indian gaming and what it brings to our communities and the things that it's done for our communities, I think it's an easy thing to do, to educate, but getting the voice, getting out there, getting the word out there about the true aspects of why tribal government gaming is so valuable to our world, to rebuilding Indian country is sometimes a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. When you think about some of the things you've seen in Indian country, and I'm sure there's a tremendous number of projects, what kind of things stick out that gaming revenues has changed? How has it changed Indian country? What sticks out as a project that you really like to endorse and see happen?
Well, there's so many, and I don't want to, I hate to be selfish, but I'm going to talk about my grandma. I'll tell you about her. But, probably one of the most important things to me is as I travel this gaming world, really, it's just really Indian country. And I traveled this world here in Le Coudray and different reservations many years ago when I was in college, but traveled it today and got to visit Louis Taylor and his family and right on his home on Sand Lake in St. Croix. That's the real value. That's the real blessing of being able to work for Indian country and be here in Le Coudray. And tomorrow I'll travel over to Lac du Flambeau and on down the line. I'm not sure whoever takes my call, that's where I'm going to visit. But I think that from my standpoint, if I just focus on home for just a second, my grandmother's she's a couple months away from her 101st birthday. This is a lady who was taken from her home on the Oneida Reservation many years ago and put in a school, not allowed to see her parents visit or even talk to them. She grew up in boarding schools, and now she's retired. She retired about 5 years ago, I think.
I hear she's still teaching, though.
Well, she has. She showed me just the other day. When I got back from NIGA, I came to tell her. She was calling to see if I won my election, so I went over there and visited her. But she showed me her license, and her license is one of the few licenses. I don't know if there's any. I know that there was tribal elders that had these. I don't know if any of them are still living, but they got them from, I think Governor Earl. I'm not sure, but they're a lifetime license. They're licensed to teach in the Wisconsin educational system for life. And she showed it me the other day. And I was really impressed by that. But Grandma is independent lady, and I guarantee you call her house right now, you flip a coin whether she's there or not. So she moves around. You get elder busing system, elder meals, programs, and when she gets bored, she just calls people and they'll come get her. So she's very active, but it would be real hard to have her in that transition area without the elder housing units. Right. And these are units where they live independently, but these are units built by gaming dollars. And it gives these elders a chance to try to not live so independently, but yet not be in a nursing home situation. They make that transition to eventually. I guess eventually Grandma will go to the nursing home. I don't know. But I think the other blessing is that, my daddy, and God bless him, my dad is a beautiful man, has so many accomplishments, but he built a lot of those facilities in his role as a development director. He now lives in the Anna John Nursing Home in Oneida. And, what they built, probably, I remember the turtle school going up. I remember breaking ground for the turtle school. I remember signing the bars when they broke ground for that. All my kids have come through that system. The Oneida Nation Turtle School is a state-of-the-art facility that educates our children about in today's world and blends the culture and tradition. It's built in the shape of a turtle. And, you know, my father was one of the folks that helped put that together, along with a lot of other Oneidas and outside folks. And I think those are the key components, the educational and elderly opportunities that we have in taking care of our community. That's really the blessing of gaming.
Just about everything that you mentioned, from the ability to go get education, the facilities that are provided to elderly people, the structures, the buildings themselves, bricks and mortar, all funded by Indian Gaming. And you're seeing this not just in one reservation, but across Indian country.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of groundbreakings where you see these facilities going up. And, you know, I was at the Twin Arrows groundbreaking for the Navajo Casino outside of Flagstaff. You know, that is going to create some jobs and opportunities. But to me, I really like it when, you know, break ground for a high school, you know, break ground for a daycare. Those are the exciting things. And, you know, I'm an educator in my heart. And so if we can do, you know, whatever we could do to make our communities better, safer, and more productive, I think those are the key components. And that's really what tribal government gaming is about, building our communities and keeping ourselves strong.
One of the discussions that seems to be coming around pretty frequently is the lack of money. State government, federal government. There's people afraid that state government and federal government is going to start looking at tribal governments as perhaps another cash cow that they can lean on again. At a time when a lot of development projects just seem to be really taking off on the reservation. Is that an issue that NIGA is dealing with? And in regards to the future, what kind of issues could you foresee that gaming tribes are going to have to face up to? Is it just a matter of trying to extract some more money from the tribes, or are there other things that are coming down the pike that you got to keep an eye on?
Well, you know, there's a lot of laws in place, whether it's tribal laws or tribal state compacts and the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act that I believe protect us from that. But all too often, we do have these situations where people want to solve their budget problems on the backs of Indian tribes. You know, I can't speak to every specific issue, but I assure you that we'll stand firm when it comes to that. We need every dollar we can in Indian country, because all the things that are happening in this world as we see it today, I always say to America, welcome to our world. We've been fighting these budgets. We've been fighting to try to keep ourselves on our feet forever. And the budget deficit and constraints and changes and layoffs, we've always been, I think that's why so many of our tribes are being able to work their way through these issues, because they've done this. They spend their whole life trying to keep the budget balanced, try to make a cut here to make ends meet here. I think it's something that we're ready for. But, you know, in this time, what we're trying to do is, again, keep doing what we're doing what we're used to doing. But at the same time, we really want to be careful about waiting for this to get better. I think it's real important in Indian country that we attack this and that we work at this together as tribes. We try to make this not just Indian country better, but make America better, because I don't think we can afford to wait for the recession to go away. We have to help it go away. We have to help each other help it go away. So it's really a time. I ran on a position of unity, and if there's no better time now than to stand united, it's in our economy.
Does it provide an opportunity perhaps for gaming tribes to reach out to counties and towns and say, we don't mind sharing the burden of public services now at a time when we can be looked as a partner, an essential partner? Mm-hmm. Do you think it's an opportunity for tribal governments to reach out and say, maybe there's a way to, you know, to balance the playing field and get involved in terms of public services? It doesn't make any difference if the fireman that arrives at your doorstep is an Indian fireman or a tribal fireman or a county fireman or a township fireman. They save lives. So do you see that as a window of opportunity?
Well, absolutely, and that's happening and been happening. All too often, we have the media will focus on isolated incidents where we have issues between townships. But from day one, Indian Gaming has been buying fire trucks, signing agreements, building relationships, and the majority of Indian country gaming are working positively with surrounding municipalities. And now it's no more important time than ever. Right now, it's really imperative that we work together, understand each other, respect one another. And again, we get these volatile relationships, but they're really, I think, lower in number as far as percentage goes. I think Indian Country has understood that they're willing to do more when folks understand the priority of respecting tribal sovereignty and understand the responsibility of tribal government gaming and what we bring to our communities. And, with 500,000 jobs, many of those folks are non-Indians. So you get those folks working with good benefits and working in our industry. We understand each other, and especially right now, I think it's really a common bond.
Do you have any figures on the kind of employment numbers that might be? I mean, the big thing right now is everyone's talking about job creation. What has Indian Gaming provided in terms of employment numbers that you can recite? And you're talking about the ancillary impact of those jobs.
Well, the numbers, I think, I'll give you a couple different numbers. Just off the top of my head, 500,000 jobs in this economy. It's amazing. And, we've opened up facilities during this tough times. And we've got some facilities that are doing good. And we have facilities that could...
and expanded others.
Yeah. And at the same time, we do have our folks that have struggled to try to make this thing work. I think that the key component here is that we understand what we're going through, and we're working through this. So it's really, from my standpoint, when I can walk into a facility when the recession was toughest 3-4 years ago and see these people working, being able to have a job. We've all been there. We've all been through tough times. We didn't know where we were going to buy the groceries next week. We didn't know how we were going to fix a tire so we can get to work. These are tough times for everybody, and for Indian Gaming to provide 500,000 jobs, a lot of people are getting to work. A lot of people are being able to feed their families, and the industry is about 26 billion holding, but another 3 billion in ancillary type of employment and other advantages like that. So, we hundreds of thousands of dollars to charity, hundreds of thousands of dollars to local municipal agreements. So, Indian Gaming is doing great things, and we're not exempt from this tough times. But again, it's like I say, Indian Country, welcome to our world. We've been making budget for a long time.
Last advice to the community out there, or something that you'd like to say real quickly as we close out this interview today?
Indian Country made it to where we are by helping each other, whether it's down at the playground or at the work site or right here in the casino. People helping people. Indian Country survived by helping each other, and that's the best way to. That's my best energy. We just keep helping people.
Ernie, thanks for joining with us today. Appreciate it. For IndianCountryTV.com, I'm Paul DeMain reporting from Hayward, Wisconsin.